Kitty, kitty, that's mine. Oh no. Y'all, it is officially midsummer, which for me in my area, I'm up in North Georgia, up in Zone 8B. This is the perfect time for me to start all of my heading up veggies for the fall. Like my cabbage, Brussels sprouts, broccoli. I'm pretty much gonna be doing just hybrids this year. I just find that they do the best here in my garden. And I have some seeds from a seed company I never tried before, so I'm kind of excited. Cabbage Capture is one of the ones that did really well in my garden last year. All of them headed up beautifully without bolting. So I went ahead and did a search to see who carried that particular seed. There were only 2 online that had it, and this is one of the ones that did, is the High Mowing Organic Seeds. And from my understanding, they specialize in carrying seeds that are more disease resistant, which is exactly what I really need in my garden. I'm going to be doing the Brussels sprouts, which is a jade cross hybrid that I got from Gurney. And then this one is a paddock hybrid cabbage. And I got this one because it looked like fun. It's supposed to get ginormous. I've seen people grow cabbages that huge before, and I want to try to grow one too. Now this one is one of the broccolis that did great in my garden last year, so I went ahead and collected seeds from this one. I allowed some of them to bolt, and it's called the Imperial Broccoli. Even when the weather warmed up, continued to give out really good broccoli before it started to bolt. I'm just gonna get started. All my soil's wet. It's been raining every day, which in some ways is good, other ways not so much, like my tomatoes want to explode. But it has been good. We've needed the rain and everything's gone absolutely wild. I need to get out here and mow. Hi, kitty. Oh goodness. Look. Stay away from my coffee now. Stop it. I've got a little mouse living in my greenhouse. You see the evidence? I saw her the other day. I have some little drawers where I keep certain items in my greenhouse, and I opened one up to get something out. She peeked her little head out. Quite cute, really. We both scared the bejesus out of each other. I really do need to catch her and remove her from the greenhouse, because she does create problems. And really, where there's one mouse, there must be more, right? Mara, what are you doing? Now the reason I like to start all of my heading up vegetables for fall right now, because for me, I've noticed in my area, I need those guys to do a lot of growing before the weather starts backing down and cooling off. Seeds like broccoli and cabbage, Brussels sprouts, all germinate just fine when it's hot out, which it still is. Then when the weather starts backing down, that was just a branch falling. When the weather starts backing down and cooling off, their growth starts slowing down, which is kind of nice because the fall winter garden has a much slower feel to it. There's not as many pests. I like it better in a lot of ways. All the things that I grow are generally low to the ground. Right now my garden is very much going up vertically. And then in the springtime, when things start warming up again, I need my broccoli and my cabbage and my Brussels sprouts to have grown enough to where they're going to start heading up. If they don't start heading up, they're going to bolt instead, and then I won't get a harvest. And the first several years, that was my issue. Even I've noticed the gardeners around me had the same problem. I could not figure out when I should start my seeds until I noticed in my own garden that some of my brassicas that were naturally reseeding themselves were popping up in August. So last year's the first time that I started seeds in August. This year I'm doing it even sooner. It's in July. When I was reading about this cabbage capture online, it did specifically say that you can start them as early as in midsummer. That's what I'm gonna do this year. We're gonna see how it goes. I love these little milk glass mugs, you guys. I just think they're so adorable. I have this thing for milk glass, but not all milk glass though. It has to be a certain kind. They have to have a happy, cute shape, which this one does. Oh goodness, this thing is really heavy. Oh, something bit me. Oh, these bags are also extra heavy when they're wet. Y'all, I just get this potting mix from Lowe's. I find it works pretty well. Now, it doesn't say anything about being organic on there. I guess that's the one thing I'm not real perfect about being organic on, is the potting soil. Just the organic stuff can be so pricey. I did find a really good soil I liked that Costco had. That was in the springtime that I was doing, but they don't have that right now. So this is what we're gonna use. Potting mix like this works just fine. When I first started planting seeds, I thought that I needed the seed starter soil, but y'all, that stuff is very expensive. I found that the seed starting potting mix works great for one thing though. When I need to plant seeds that are very, very tiny, the ones that you just sprinkle on the surface of the soil. Morrow! She got into the goats. She wants to just chase them and love on them to death, but of course it scares the bejesus out of my goats. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. So what I'll do when I'm starting stuff like my tobacco or creeping thyme, anything that's very, very tiny, is I'll have a pot that I've already pretty much filled up with just regular potting soil. And then I take a little bit of the seed starting mix and put it on top. That way I'm not using a ton of it because this stuff does add up, and generally when I'm starting seeds, I'm starting a lot of seeds. So I need a lot of soil. Then I just sprinkle them on top and then mist them gently. And I found I've gotten much better germination rate by using the seed starting mix with tiny, tiny seeds. But with everything else, I just use regular potting soil. This is gonna feel so good to have this done. I've just got so much to do lately where it makes me almost so overwhelmed that I feel paralyzed. So as long as I'm taking baby steps, I am moving forward. So this will feel good to have this finished and checked off my list. Ooh, it's not even that hot out here as it is humid. And I'm like dripping. The humidity has been brutal this year. But you hear the cicadas, they're finally out. Now I'm gonna go ahead and start with the cabbage capture that only came with 25 seeds in each packet. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just put one in each pot. Normally I would put a couple in each pot, but to be honest with you, these are a little pricey. And if I do get a couple that pop up in each pot and separate them and put them into their own individual pot, I found with my brassicas, they don't handle that as well as they do like when I do that with my tomatoes. I'll just do one in each pot and we'll see how many germinate. It's cute little round things, aren't they? Ah, I dropped one. No. Come here. Now all the carrots, cilantro, dill, my hairy vetch, Austrian winter pea, anything else that I'll be planting in the fall garden, I'm just going to be directly sowing it into the garden when my weather starts to really back off, which is generally for me in late September. Because I found all those other things really do need cooler weather to germinate. Oh, I feel another one in here. There you are. Oh shoot. It bounced off and fell. There's no way I'm finding it down there. Oh well. Maybe I'll find it when it starts to germinate. Alright, let's go ahead and do the paddock hybrid cabbage. I'm very excited about these. I'd like to start some lettuce too in pots. I've got that red sail lettuce that did so well, and I've got it bolting out there, and I think the seeds should be ready for me to harvest. I need to go check on that. There's a mosquito trying to land on you. I wish I had more of these bigger pots, but to be honest, it's probably best. I only have this one card table for right now, and my greenhouse is just way too hot. Oh, there's a mosquito right there. Keeps trying to bite you. But yeah, it's way too hot in my greenhouse to be starting seeds, so I gotta do it out here. So I'll just have to make this work. I'm gonna go in and get some water because I am dripping, and we'll cool off for a minute. I'll show you what I've been up to. Well, I've been saving all the seeds from my healthiest, strongest tomato plants. And I like to do that by putting the seeds in water for a few days. Kind of gets that gel sock off of them, and then I just pour them in a strainer, and all that's left over is the seeds, which makes it easy for me. From there, I put them on a little plate and let them fully dry off before I put them in packets. This one's about ready to go in. And I have them little cards I write down all the details about each little tomato and where it was in the garden. Check this out. These are all cuttings from my Alberic Barbados, and 2 of them are rooting really well. I'm so excited to check this out. Which one are you? Where are you? And this one? Look at all those. Isn't that pretty? Got one more in there rooting really well, and hopefully I'll get more that root, because I'm going to be putting these out by my gate. I have the generous gardener rose out there, but it's honestly just not doing very good, so I'm going to dig those up this fall, put them in nice big pots. I have another area I want to put the generous gardener rose, but that particular area is not ready yet. And I'll get this Alberic Barbados rose going to grow out by the gates. And I think it's going to work really well. Excited to plant these broccoli. Got a ton of seeds I was able to harvest in here too, which is great. Tomorrow, don't dig over there, silly girl.
army green, but I just remembered something that I really wanted to show you guys. Come inside so I can show it to you better.
Okay. Alright, y'all, I think I'm gonna go in, cool off, and clean up because definitely I'm a little bit messy. That does feel good to have that finished. These shouldn't take very long at all to pop up either. And I think next I really would like to do a garden tour. I've got this one squash, y'all, that has just gone absolutely bonkers. I don't know what kind it is yet. It's a mystery. I hope y'all are all doing well. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and take care. We'll see you next time.